Hi, I'm Kat Russell. I am a writer, a poet, a blogger, a creator of short stories and poetry, and I was asked to give a short talk on my journey to becoming a published author. Basically, in 2007, I stumbled across this writing challenge called NaNoWriMo, where you are challenged to write a 50,000 word rough draft novel within the 30 days of November. And I had never written anything before, but I decided to give it a shot, and I discovered that I love writing. I accomplished my goal. I loved writing. I needed to get better because I'd never done it before. And just that was what I wanted to do. So I started creating short stories and posting them on my blog as part of a Twitter challenge called Friday Flash, which every Friday the challenge was to post a short story of less than 1,000 words and put it up on your blog, and then you would tweet the link with the hashtag Friday Flash, and then people would come and comment on your story, and then you could follow back and reciprocate and comment on their stories, and that became my online writing community. I did this for several years. Eventually it led to the Best of Friday Flash Volume 1, Volume 2, which were my first anthology credits. I started participating in other online challenges to try and get better, to get editorial advice. And then eventually, when I was able to start traveling and going places locally, I started attending poetry events. I started going to an in-person poetry workshop in Cleveland once a month, put up by Literary Cleveland at the main Cleveland Library. That was really invaluable. And the whole time I was doing this, I was becoming acquainted with other people who were showing up to all the same events. So I was becoming part of a community, both online and off. I would meet people in person and then follow them on social media. And I became really good friends with a lot of people. And I learned a lot just from watching them. And so after a while, I had this body of work that was a lot of poems and a lot of short stories. And I knew I wanted to publish them. And there's generally three routes people take to publishing, either going the traditional publishing route, which is a big giant publishing house like Tor or Penguin, independent publishers, which are like the mom and pop stores of the publishing industry, and then self-publishing, which is directly from author to consumer. Now, I knew a traditional publishing house would probably not want my manuscript because I was going to include a lot of things that have appeared previously on my blog. And things on blogs have a weird dual status. They're considered published in the sense that no one else wants to publish them because they've already been published. But they're considered unpublished in the sense that no one else has vetted them. They've just gone straight from the author to the consumer. So I figured I would do self-publishing. As a self-publisher, you control every aspect. You do all the formatting, you do the cover, you do the content, you do everything. And I was researching how to do formatting because I'm not a particularly technical person. And I was talking to one of my friends, and she said, you should try to go through an independent publisher, through an indie publisher. And again, because I was part of this community, I knew some people who were involved in that, so I submitted my manuscript to a local indie publisher, and I was thrilled when they said that they wanted to publish my poetry. So that became my first published book, which came out March, Soul Picked Clean, through Crisis Chronicles Press, and that indirectly led to my second book because, as I said, I've gone to a lot of poetry events, and doing that, I try to support my local poets by buying their books. And one of them was just so beautifully done. I mean, I love the content, but besides that, I loved the presentation of the content. I loved the cover, I loved the artwork, I loved the font, I loved the way things were laid out. I loved everything about it. And I found out that the publisher that did that poetry book also took prose submissions. So since I had all these flash fiction pieces and a few short story pieces, which are a little bit longer, I went ahead and created a manuscript and submitted it. And surprise, surprise, they really liked it. So that's going to be my second book, which is an optimist journal of the end of days and other stories that will soon be published via Venetian Spider Press. I'm really excited about it, and in the meantime, while I'm waiting for that book to come out, because things have happened because of the pandemic that have postponed things, I am still continuing to write poetry, still continuing to write short stories, still continuing to blog, because it never stops. You never stop doing what you love. So I hope, if you're looking into publishing, that you found this helpful, and thank you for your time. Goodbye.